Hey everybody, shopping nobody else's auto. We're over here in the new yard checking out some more cool new inventory. And tonight we've got a super unique, very rare car that I really didn't even know much about. I had to look some stuff up on this just to even know what I was looking at. This is a 1957 Hudson Deluxe Custom. Now, after Nash and Hudson merged in 1954 to create AMC, American Motors Corporation, the Hudson line obviously began phasing out pretty quickly. 57, this one here being the last year. Nash was obviously focusing on the Rambler line, the smaller cars, the American, which were really starting to take off. Hudson was phased out pretty quick. Obviously the merger happened in 54, this being a 57 being the last Hudson. Now from the research I've done, they only made about 4,000 57 Hudsons. They made a two-door hardtop and a sedan. They made just a regular base car, and then they made this one, which is called the Deluxe Custom, that had some extra trim on it. Now, very unique car. Obviously, you can sit here and look at the front of this thing, and it doesn't really look like anything else made in 1957. Whether that's good or bad, that's up to the eye of the beholder. But it is so unique. Now, this grille is super cool. It is big. It goes all the way side to side. The headlight beazles I just found in the trunk of the car, so we put them back up here. That's why they look a little bit different. But this was such a unique design. The grille V'd in the middle, V'd had a V right in front here, had the big dip in the middle with the Hudson ornament right above it. So many unique features about this car. And like I said, with only a little over 4,000 of them made, it's not something you see every day. The park lights swooped all the way around the corner of the fender, all the way back to a big point back here on the end. It had these big, massive fender ornaments on it. Almost a little bit overkill. I mean, putting an ornament on the top of the fender was definitely commonplace in this era, but these things were big. You know, a lot of cars in this era did use ornaments on top of the fenders. 57 Pontiacs had them, 57 Chevys had bullets in the hood. So having ornamentation up top, definitely not uncommon in that era. However, these things are big. I mean, they go a third of the way back on the fender. They're double peaked on each side, a big ribbed area in them, and they're both right on each side of it. Now this would have had a big goddess hood ornament. That's been gone for years, and the Hudson letters are missing off the front, but still a very, very unique car. So a lot of weird things about these. Now the reason we know this was a Deluxe Custom from the research I did is we had a molding here and a molding here. This area could have been painted, or it could have had a trim panel on it. This car had a trim panel, so this would have made it a Deluxe Custom. We'll start working our way around this thing. We see the trim around the door frames, obviously definitely commonplace for Nash in the 50s to have this aluminum trim around the door frames. We'll take a peek inside of this thing. And down here, we've still got the tag where this was a unibody car. Double safe, single unit body, American Motors Corporation, Detroit, Michigan. Inside, the dash is all still pretty much here on this car. Big radio, the weather eye temp control. This car was actually an automatic. Still has the horn button on it. Very, very unique. In the back seat, one interesting feature about the back seat of this car is this center armrest folds all the way down for trunk access. Had just a little piece of flat back here. Had a big wide full armrest or access into the trunk. Even the dome light was unique in this thing. Very ornamental on the dome light. Now, as we come around the back of this old Hudson, we see this thing is so unique. These had big, basically add-on, bolt-on tail fins that stood up, really peaked back here big time. Big taillight housings. Now in the trunk of this thing, It's also full of parts. A lot of the bits and pieces that are missing off this car are here in the trunk. Here we see these big wide trim panels that help identify this as a deluxe custom. Instead of just having paint between the side moldings, this had these big trim panels. Those are all here. All the side molding is here. Have these big ornamental pieces here. Believe it or not, we've even still got the jack up here. There's our other park light assembly. So a lot of the pieces that we don't see on the car are tucked back in here in the trunk. Over here on the passenger side, kind of more of the same. We do see original hubcaps still on this car. It's just been sitting here for a really long time, but actually still has original hubcaps. Has the original gas cap on it with the H. We'll take a look in this side, and we're going to see another feature that was very common to Nash in that era, but not something that we're used to even today. But it had the reclining seat. Literally, it would recline all the way back. Now, one thing we haven't checked out on this old Hudson is under the hood, which was kind of interesting as well when I peeked under here. This car is a V8. Like we just saw, it is an automatic. Still has the original tags up here, American Motors Corporation, serial number, the AMC tag with the body, model, and paint information on it. And something else kind of interesting, this car has power steering on it. Right down here we can see our power steering, pump and hoses mounted right there on the corner of the engine. So a really unique car. Not something you see every day. Like I said, I had to do a little research on it just to get some of the basics because I know so little about this era of the Hudson Nash AMC conglomerate that I had to figure a little bit out of myself. Super unique, not something you're going to see every day, and kind of a cool piece to have. It's always interesting when you have this weird stuff because I learn more about it. I hope you guys learn more about it. The next time you see one, if you ever see one with only a little over 4,000 produced, you'll know a little bit more about the 1957 Hudson. The very small window of the 1957 Hudson. So a unique car, definitely different. Not something you're going to see on a regular basis, but a pretty cool piece. So I hope you guys learned something. I know I did. If you need anything off this Hudson or any of the other 2000 cars and trucks we've got here on the ground at Nobody Else's Auto, just give me a call, 620-786-4428. That number is in the description part of the video. We can talk about this Hudson or anything else you may need parts for your particular project. We deal in classic and old cars here, so that's all we know is old cars and old trucks. So give me a shout. We'll have a short conversation about your project, year, make, model, body style, pieces you need, or what you may be looking for a project. But having that short conversation on the phone is really the only way to do it. There are so many variables that text, emails, I never get all the information that I need. So just give me a call. We'll have that conversation, see if I've got anything else here that might be able to help you out. I hope you enjoyed the Hudson because I know I enjoyed bringing it to you because I learned a lot about it. That very small snippet of time as Hudson was being phased out, for the years that Hudson was such a luxury car, a premier car, and they faded out after the merger, well, this is kind of the last bird of that run, the 1957 Deluxe Custom Hudson. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned. I got a lot more cool stuff we're going to be bringing you, a lot of cool old cars and trucks here to check out. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. We got more coming. We hope to see you soon on the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody.